Sit down a while, son. Pull that chair closer to the fire. You know what troubles me most about this world of yours? Everyone's talking, but nobody's saying much of anything. Words flying around like leaves in a storm, everywhere at once, but landing nowhere that matters, makes an old man wonder. When did we forget that silence has its own kind of power? I've been watching you lately, child, seeing how you wrestle with when to speak up, when to hold back, in your work, with your friends, even with family. It's eating at you, isn't it? That question of whether to say what's burning in your chest or keep it locked away where it's safe. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way after 73 years of opening my mouth when I should have kept it shut, and staying quiet when the world needed to hear what I had to say. A man's words are like stones cast into a deep well. If he throws them without care, the splash is loud, but the echo is meaningless. But if he waits, listens, chooses just the right stone, just the right moment, that echo travels far and clear. That's the art, son, not speaking to be heard, but speaking so the truth rings long after you are gone. Most men fill the silence because it frightens them. The wise man holds it like water in cupped hands. He knows when to pour and when to wait. Now, I know what you are thinking. Grandpa, that sounds fine and poetic, but what about when someone's wrong? What about when you see injustice? When do you speak up? Fair question, child. And it's the right question to ask. Let's talk about stones first, the words we choose to throw. You see, every word has weight. Some are pebbles, light, harmless, forgotten the moment they hit the water. Others are boulders that crash through everything in their path. The young man thinks power comes from throwing the biggest rock he can find, make the loudest splash, get everyone's attention. But here is what I've learned in 7 decades of throwing words around. The stone that makes the deepest impact isn't always the heaviest one. I remember when your grandmother and I had our worst fight, 42 years ago this October. She had made a decision about your father. He was 15 then, testing every boundary we'd ever set. She wanted to ground him for a month. I thought she was being too harsh. Now, I could have thrown a boulder right then, could have raised my voice, pulled rank, made it about who was the head of the household. Lord knows the words were right there, sharp and ready. You are overreacting, I could have said. He's just being a boy. All those heavy stones loaded with judgment and pride. But something made me pause. Maybe it was the way her hands were shaking, or how she couldn't quite meet my eyes. There was pain there, not just anger. Pain that my boulders would have crushed instead of healed. Instead, I threw a pebble. Just one question. What are you afraid of? That tiny stone reached depths I never could have imagined. Turns out she wasn't angry at our boy. She was terrified. Terrified of losing him the way her brother got lost. Drugs, bad friends, a path that led nowhere good. All that fear dressed up as anger, and my boulder would have shattered right through it, destroyed something precious. But that little pebble opened up a conversation that changed how we raised your father, changed how we talked to each other. The echo of that one gentle question, "What are you afraid of?" is still rippling through our family today. You know what I've learned about choosing the right words? They're not always the first ones that come to mind. The first words are usually born from reaction, anger, hurt, the need to be right. They come from the surface, where everything is noise and motion. But the words that matter, the ones that heal and guide and illuminate, they come from a deeper place, from the quiet water at the bottom of the well, from listening first. And that's the hardest lesson of all, son. Learning to listen not just to what people say, but to what they can't say. To the silence between their words where the real truth lives. I learned this the hard way at work too. Spent 30 years managing people at the plant, and for the first 10, I thought leadership meant having all the answers. When problems came up, I'd throw my solutions like rocks, hard, fast, decisive. Do this, don't do that. Here is how we fix it. And you know what happened? People stopped bringing me problems. They'd rather struggle alone than face my avalanche of answers. Then one day, Jim Watkins, good man, worked the line for 20 years, came to my office looking like he'd aged a decade overnight. Production was down in his section, quality slipping. And I was ready with my usual boulder. "Jim, you need to crack down on these guys. Set some discipline, show them who's boss." But something in his eyes made me stop. Made me ask instead, "What's going on, Jim? Really going on?" And then silence. Long, uncomfortable silence. I wanted to fill it, but I forced myself to wait, to let that silence do its work. Finally, Jim told me his wife had cancer. Treatment was expensive. He was working double shifts to pay for it, hardly sleeping. His team could see he was drowning, but instead of slacking off, they were trying to cover for him. The production problems weren't from laziness. They were from good people pushing beyond their limits. My bolder solution would have destroyed that man, but holding that silence, letting him find his words, that's when we found the real solution. The company had resources I didn't even know about. We got Jim the help he needed. His team the support they deserved. Production came back stronger than ever. That's when I understood something profound. The space between words isn't empty. It's full of possibility. Now let's talk about the well itself, the silence that holds our words. Most people think silence is empty space, something to be filled, dead air that makes them nervous. But I tell you, son, silence is like the earth around a seed. It looks like nothing's happening, but underneath, that's where the real work gets done. That's where understanding takes root and grows. When someone's hurting, really hurting, they don't need your words right away. They need your presence. Your willingness to sit in that uncomfortable quiet while they find their own way to what needs saying. I've spent more hours than I can count just sitting with people, friends who lost jobs, neighbors who lost children. Your grandmother when the doctor gave us news we didn't want to hear. And you know what I discovered? In those silences, People tell you things they never planned to say. Truth has a way of rising up when we stop pushing it down with our chatter. It's like, you know how a pond looks murky when you are stirring it up, but if you sit still long enough, the water clears and you can see all the way to the bottom. That's what silence does. It clears the water so truth can surface. There was a time, you were maybe 8 years old, when you came running to me, tears streaming, because some boy at school was picking on you, called you names, pushed you around. Every instinct I had was screaming to march over there, give that kid and his parents a piece of my mind. The grandfather in me wanted to throw every boulder I had, but I held that silence, son. Let you cry it out, then asked what you thought we should do, and you surprised me. Said you thought the boy was probably hurting inside to be so mean. Asked if we could maybe invite him over sometime. Show him how friends really treat each other. Wisdom from an 8-year-old born in the space I almost filled with my own anger. Now, if I'd thrown my boulders first, marched over there with righteous indignation, we would have made an enemy, created more hurt. But by holding that space, letting your own wisdom emerge, that boy became one of your best friends. Still sends you Christmas cards, doesn't he? The hardest part isn't knowing what to say, Fairchild. It's knowing when not to say it. It's recognizing that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let someone else's words be the last ones in the air. Let them feel heard before you make yourself known. But, and this is crucial, silence without courage is just cowardice dressed up pretty. There comes a time when the well is full, when you've listened long enough, when the right stone has been chosen and the moment has arrived. And then, son, then you must speak. I remember standing in a town meeting about 15 years back. Local company wanted to dump waste near the elementary school. Most folks were afraid to speak up, jobs were scarce, and this company employed half the town. The silence in that room wasn't peaceful. It was heavy with fear and resignation. I'd sat quiet for an hour, listening to the company men talk about minimal impact and economic benefits. Heard the mayor stumble through his prepared remarks. Watched neighbors avoid each other's eyes. That silence had done its work. I understood what was really happening. Fear was masquerading as acceptance. So I stood up, threw my stone, not a boulder of anger, but a clear pebble. I have grandchildren who play in the yard next to that school. That's all I said. But the echo brought 20 other people to their feet. So do I. My daughter's in 3rd grade there. What about the water supply? Sometimes silence teaches you exactly what needs saying. And sometimes what needs saying is the truth everyone's afraid to speak. Because here is what I've learned. The echo you leave in this world matters. The silence you keep when truth needs a voice, that echoes too. And sometimes the echo of what we didn't say rings louder and longer than what we did. The real wisdom isn't in choosing between speaking and staying silent. It's in understanding that they're partners in the same dance. Silence teaches us what to say. Words give meaning to the quiet that follows. and together they create the rhythm of a life well lived. So here you sit, child, by this old fire that swarmed 3 generations of our family. The flames are lower now, settled into that steady glow that lasts through the night, and I can see in your eyes that you are still wrestling with it. When to speak, when to hold back. That's good. That wrestling is how wisdom grows. Let me leave you with this, and I want you to really hear it. The next time you feel words burning in your chest, ask yourself not, what do I want to say? But what does this moment need? Sometimes it needs your voice, strong and clear. Sometimes it needs your presence, quiet and steady. Sometimes it needs the space for someone else to find their own words. You know, I think about your great-grandfather sometimes. Never knew him to be a man of many words, but when he spoke, people listened, not because he was loud or demanding, but because his words had weight, had been tested in the silence of his own experience before he offered them to the world. He used to tell me, boy, your mouth is like a gate. Most folks leave it hanging open, letting everything wander in and out. But a wise man, he tends that gate, opens it with purpose, closes it with care. I didn't understand what he meant then. Thought he was just being old-fashioned, maybe even a little cold. But now, having lived through marriages and children and heartbreak and joy, now I know that gate isn't about holding back. It's about choosing what's worthy to pass through. Trust the silence, son. It's not your enemy. It never was. It's your teacher, your counselor, your oldest friend. And trust your voice when the time comes to use it. You've got good words in you. I can see them in how you treat people, how you think about the world, how you listen when someone's hurting. But like any craftsman with good tools, you'll know their worth by their results, not their noise. The stones you cast into this world will ripple long after you are gone. The silences you hold will echo in hearts you may never know you touched. Make sure they're both worth the legacy they leave. And remember, this isn't about perfection. Lord knows I've thrown my share of clumsy boulders, held silence when I should have spoken up. The art isn't in never making mistakes. It's in learning from them, in letting each fumbled word and missed opportunity teach you something about the next moment that comes your way. Your grandmother used to say, we're all just walking each other home. And she was right. Sometimes we do that walking with words, sharing stories, offering comfort, speaking truth when it needs speaking. Sometimes we do it in the quiet spaces between words, just being present, letting someone know they're not alone in their struggle. Both matter, child. Both are part of the love we offer this world. Now, tell me what's really on your heart. I've got all night. And I've learned that sometimes the best conversations start with the words we're most afraid to say. The fire's warm, the silence is friendly, and your old grandfather, well, I am still learning the art myself. But I've got time for your questions, your doubts, your dreams. And I promise you this, whatever words you choose to share, I'll hold them like the precious stones they hold. And if you need silence, well, I've got plenty of that too.